Joined again here on Next by Democratic Congressman Jason Crow of Aurora. Congressman Crow, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kyle.
Let's talk about the situation with President Trump in Iran. President Trump warning Iran that a whole civilization will die tonight if they don't surrender. Is this just Trump being Trump, exaggerating, or do you take this seriously?
I take it extremely seriously. It is a stunning thing for the President of the United States to say, while our it is further isolating and maligning us in the world, in the eyes of the world.
Congressman, your video broke up there on that last answer. Given that was
Okay.
our first question, I'm just going to ask the question again.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll just take it again from the top because it froze there on your reply.
Okay.
Um, so again, President Trump is threatening Iran that a whole civilization will die tonight if they don't surrender. Is that just Trump's way of talking, or do you take that to be a serious threat?
I take it extremely seriously. The words of the President of the United States matter a lot, particularly when you're at war and you're sending a message to an adversary and a message to our service members. What he said today is a blatant war crime. It's unacceptable and it's very dangerous.
You and other members of Congress with experience in the U.S. military and intelligence communities reminded service members that by law, they don't have to follow and should not follow illegal orders. Would such an order to wipe out an entire civilization be an obviously illegal order in your mind?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no other way to take it, right? That's a call to kill women and children and families and innocent civilians. That is squarely in the zone of what would be patently unlawful and what a service member should not follow through on if they're asked to kill civilians. You just can't do it. It's murder. It's a violation of our law. It's a violation of international law, and certainly would be what our service members would have to refuse if they were asked to be, to carry out an order like that.
I'm sure that some of the president's supporters might just say, listen, the madman theory is not a new theory, right? Convince your opponent that you're crazy, that you'll do anything, and that's how you win. That's how you get things. Do you think that's what the president is doing? And how do you think that particular approach would work against the mullahs of Iran who have suggested that they would be martyred before they surrender?
No, I don't think the president has any theory or is playing 3D chess here. Clearly, there's no strategy, there's no end game. There was no plan when he started this war. To this day, there remains no plan. He's stumbling from one day to the next to the next. And you cannot say something, and regardless of what theory or what negotiating tactic, you cannot say you're going to violate the law of war, commit a war crime to even gain leverage, right? That is unacceptable, and it puts our service members in completely unsafe and untenable situations.
There have not been many Americans lost in this war, but among them was a service member who was stationed at Fort Carson in Colorado. How do you separate the performance of the U.S. military, which has been impressive by any measure in this war, and then the fact that you disagree with the way the president's conducting it?
That should not be hard for Americans to applaud the heroism of our service members who are doing their duty, who are following the law, who are doing it with great heroism in many cases. We saw that rescue mission the last couple of days. But I learned over 20 plus years of war now, and having served both in war myself as a soldier and now in an oversight capacity as a member of Congress, is that there's a difference between tactical victory and strategic victory. Like, we spent 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we never lost a single battle. We never lost one battle in both of those wars. And yet we lost the wars at the end, right? So you can have tactical victory after tactical victory, but not actually achieve a result that is positive and win at the end of it. And I'm just afraid we're being sucked into yet another one of those endless cycles of conflict that will end poorly for Americans.
What's your message to Coloradans who say that while they understand that the war is serious, this feels very removed from people's everyday lives in a lot of ways. Folks here at home don't feel like they're under physical threat necessarily. Yes, it might result in some increased costs, but why is this a matter of high concern for Coloradans?
Well, it doesn't feel removed for those 50,000 service members who are in the Middle East, many of whom come from Colorado. It doesn't feel removed for those 13 families who now don't have a brother or sister or a son and daughter. It doesn't feel removed to the over 300 who have been wounded. It certainly doesn't feel removed to the Americans who are paying $2 billion a day just for the military costs of this, and $400 million a day for increased energy prices. And oh, by the way, on top of all of that, we are losing our credibility and legitimacy as a world leader. We are facing incredible terror threats and cyber threats that we're now going to have to face for years to come.
So I'm seeing now, as we're talking, so this is in real time, that the Associated Press is reporting that President Trump has decided to back down on his threat for the next 2 weeks. Certainly not the first time that we've seen President Trump make a threat, inch up to the deadline, then delay things. That again, this is coming from the Associated Press reporting. If true, what do you make of that, Congressman?
Well, I mean, it's a good thing that the president of the United States is saying that he's not going to commit a war crime, but it's actually just stunning to me that we're even having this discussion and that there would be any sense of relief that our president is saying he's not going to commit a war crime. I mean, what the hell? I mean, how else can we talk about this? The man is acting unhinged and extremely dangerous. And what's more is it has put our men and women in uniform, our service members, in just unbelievably difficult positions.
Congressman Crow, I appreciate your time, especially here as we pivoted to the new news coming in from the Associated Press. Thank you again for making time to talk about this today, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle.